Alright then, folks, it's time to talk about the Samurai's orders as well as the feat selection that we're going to go with for this particular build. Hello everyone, and welcome back down here to the Gamer's Den with me, your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire, here to bring you the next episode for the first edition Pathfinder Samurai. Today we're going to be going over two of the orders that you can choose from for your samurai in order to gain different benefits, a little bit of flavoring, some rules and feel for them overall, as well as going into what feat selection that we have on hand for you today. And gotta say, I think I found one that's particularly thematic as well as effective. Is it the most broken, god-awful, overpowered thing ever? No. Is the samurai still a little bit of a mess without homebrewing? Yeah. Is it gonna be fun though? I think so. But before we get into all of that, if you're new here to the channel, go on down there, hit the subscribe button, and become a regular member here at the Gamer's Den. Or if you've already gone on ahead and listed yourself on such an incredible roster of legendary heroes, then go on down to hit the like button and share the video far and wide. But now we'll actually start getting into things here. So when it comes to orders, the samurai has access to a lot of the same options that the cavalier does. And that means we already have some ground covered on what are going to work a little bit better, but we'll still retread a few things here while throwing in something interesting. And to that end, for the interesting option, we have the Order of the Lion. Now, the edict that they have to follow is that the samurai must protect the life and lands of their sovereign at all costs. They must obey their sovereign without question and strive to expand the power and prestige of their realm. So, this is a good way for giving your DM something a little bit that they can use, a way of tethering the samurai somewhat and enmeshing them a bit more into the world, into the setting, making them feel like they're a part of something larger, a thriving, breathing, living world. It helps with immersion. And also, it's a pretty reasonable, pretty appropriate edict for a samurai to be following. Now, for your challenge effects, when the samurai makes a challenge, they gain a +1 dodge bonus to AC against attacks made by the target. Increases by +1 every 4 levels. Now, dodge bonuses will stack together pretty nicely with other bonuses. There aren't a lot of dodge bonuses out there. The dodge feat, but even still, gaining this bonus is great, especially since the target of your challenge should be a significant threat. Now, for skills that you get to add in Knowledge Local and Knowledge Nobility as class skills. And for Knowledge Nobility, you gain a bonus of +1/2 your samurai level when the checks involve your liege in some way. Now, what that means exactly is going to be subject to your DM, but you're more likely to know about other lords that might be feuding with your liege or might be friendly to them. So, at least if I were the DM, I would say that's applicable. And since you're taking Order of the Lion, this actually makes Knowledge Nobility a bit more useful for you in this campaign than it otherwise would be, since if you're taking Order of the Lion, DMs should be making some extra notes and putting in some material in regards to the daimyo or shogun that you might be sworn to. Now, for the abilities that you get, Lion's Call kicks in at 2nd level. As a standard action, give a speech that arouses your allies, giving all allies within 60 feet a competence bonus on their saving throws equal to the samurai's charisma modifier, and a +1 competence bonus to attack rolls for a number of rounds equal to the samurai's level. Any ally in range affected by frightened or panicked effects may immediately make a new save. So already right there, the fact that we're leaning a bit more into charisma gets to be a bit more justified, given that you're helping your allies' saving throws by adding in your charisma modifier to it. That's nothing to sneeze at all, and can help with any allies who do have weaker saves and help them shake off whatever might be afflicting them. Then for 8th level, you have For the Daimyo, or For the Shogun. depending on who your liege is. As a swift action, grant all allies in a 30-foot area a competence bonus on attack and damage rolls equal to your charisma modifier for 1 round. This is usable once per combat, not once per day, not once per week, not any of that, just once per combat. So this is an ability that is going to get a significant amount of use, and this does apply to your mount as well. Your mount will get this bonus as well. In addition, most guides, and I looked for FAQs to see if maybe this was a misread or an intentional misread by some folks, but it seems that you count as your own ally as well, so you grant yourself a bonus. I don't know that that would fly with every DM, so check with them, but I can see the reasoning, and I would probably allow it as well, especially given that attacks and dealing damage with your attacks are not always the most efficient way of dealing with your opponents. So, that said, again, check with your DM. Now, lastly, at level 15 you get Shield of the Liege. Allies adjacent to the samurai gain a +2 shield bonus to AC as an immediate action, and the samurai can direct an attack made at an adjacent creature to themselves, so long as the attacker is in the samurai's reach. The ability must be declared before the attack roll is made, and is then made against the samurai's AC and defenses, even if the attacker couldn't normally reach the samurai. The samurai loses any cover or concealment bonuses for the redirected attack. So, as far as other defenses go, these are going to be things like a blur, or if you have any other displacement effect on yourself, or mirror image. And this is a great way for you to be a bodyguard for some of your squishier allies. The only real limitation to it is that the ally has to be, or the target that's attacking an ally has to be within your reach. So given that we are not going to be leaning into a pole arm or a reach weapon, that is going to limit this. However, this can still be an impressively effective ability, especially if you're guarding your liege lord, an allied wizard, sorcerer, or whatever kind of squishy character that would like to not be attacked and stabbed in the face. You can instead try to take that hit yourself, ideally off of your armor. Now, going on from there, the next order we are going to cover is Order of the Dragon. This is a pretty simple one and still fairly thematic overall. The edict is that you remain loyal to and protect your allies, work to further the goals of the group and protect their honor. For the challenge effect, allies gain a +1 circumstance bonus on attack rolls against the target of a challenge. Increases by 1 every 4 levels. Again, not bad at all. And because it's a circumstance bonus, again, this is going to stack with bonuses from other sources. Say you have 2 samurai in the group. One is Order of the Lion, the other the Order of the Dragon. That's going to give a significant bonus that will stack together there. For class skills, however, they really shine, gaining Perception and Survival as class skills, and also getting a +1/2 their level on survival checks when trying to gather supplies. Now, for their second level ability, they pick up Aid Allies. Whenever you use the Aid Another action for an ally, they receive a +3 bonus to AC, attack rolls, saving throws, or skill checks. At 8th level and every 6 levels thereafter, this bonus increases by an additional +1. So, again, you're definitely leaning into being a bit more of a support character, but in a fairly significant way, all the way around, inside and outside of combat. So that's an awesome ability to have and gives you a great deal more utility all the way around. Then for your 8th level ability, the samurai can grant one of the following bonuses to each ally within 30 feet that can see or hear them, though they don't need to be the same bonus and are able to be used once per combat. They gain a +2 dodge bonus to AC for 1 round, a +2 morale bonus on all attack rolls for 1 round, or move up to their speed as an immediate action once. And then you also have Act as 1. Standard action to move up to your speed and make a melee attack. All allies in 30 feet are also able to move their speed and make a melee attack as an immediate action. All get a +2 bonus to attack and AC for 1 round. again, significant buffs and bonuses right there that help all of your allies. Now, not all of your allies are going to want to be moving in and attacking, but any targets like, say, a rogue or a vigilante that's leaning more into dealing the precision damage and have the lower attack bonus, those characters will appreciate a +2 bonus pretty significantly. A barbarian or a fighter won't sniff at it either, but it still is a more helpful boost for characters with a slightly lower attack bonus rate. Now, those are not the only orders available to the samurai. They're even not the only orders that are good for the samurai to lean into. Every order has its own bonuses, its benefits, its drawbacks, and some have more drawbacks than the others, at least in comparison to what you're missing out on. But you're still going to have plenty of options, so take your time, look through them, see what kind of fits what you're going for overall, because as I've said many times before, these guides are meant to just be guides. None of this is set in stone, so take this for what it is: advice, insight, ideas, and then go and make of it what you will. Now, with that said, we are going to move on to feats now, and we're going to start off with weapon focus. Now, here it's listed as the human bonus feat that you get at character creation at first level, but if you're not playing a human, then simply scoot every single feat on this list down by 1. This is just made with the fact that you might be having a human in mind as your samurai. So, what weapon focus does to you is it gives you a +1 bonus to attack with the chosen weapon, the katana in this case. Then for your first level feat to piggyback along with that, we have power attack. First level, you're going to be getting a -1 to attack but a +2 to damage, or +3 if you're two-handing the weapon, which you very much are supposed to do with the katana. Increases every 4 attack bonus, so by the time you hit level 4, you're going to be taking a -2 penalty to attack with a +4 to damage and +6 damage for two-handing. And then again, this will increase when you hit level 8, which, you're at a +8 attack bonus for a -3, then a +6, or a +9 if you're two-handing. Then at 3rd level, we are going to pick up intimidating prowess. Add your strength modifier to intimidate skill checks, given that we have a significant strength score starting off right off the bat. At least a +4, possibly a +5 if you put your floating +2 bonus there. Then you are going to be getting a +5, +6 to maybe +7 onto your intimidate skill, on top of the fact that, with any skill ranks, so let's see, 1 skill rank, you're looking at 8 plus the 3, so a +11 right there, assuming you only threw 1 point into it and haven't added anything else. That's huge. That's going to get you through a lot of social interactions and really ward off a lot of people. And damn, how appropriate is that for a samurai to just have that steely, piercing, unnerving gaze that just bores straight through their opponents. Absolutely perfect. Then, going on from there, at 5th level, we are going to pick up Dazzling Display. Make an Intimidate check with your chosen weapon to demoralize all foes within 30 feet as a full round action. It's the full round action part there that kind of sets this back a little bit, and in this instance, while Dazzling Display is a good feat, allowing you to affect multiple foes in a fairly broad range, you're still, chewing up your action economy pretty good, and this is going to be feat tax in this instance. However, still not a bad option. Then at 6th level, for your bonus feat, you get Shattered Defenses. Any shaken, frightened, or panicked opponent hit by you this turn is flat-footed to your attacks until the end of your next turn. So between weapon focus offsetting or helping to offset the penalties from power attack, and then using Shattered Defenses to, Dazzling Display and Shattered Defenses, you can really start to affect your opponents massively, especially if you're making a very dex-focused target flat-footed, because without that dexterity bonus, they are so much easier to hit, especially with all of your iterative attacks that you're going to start accruing. Now, for our 7th level feat, we're going to pick up Furious Focus. When two-handing a weapon and using the power attack feat, you don't suffer the penalties on the first attack roll. So, that first attack roll, by this point you're looking at a -2 penalty. You're ignoring that off of the first attack. Your second attack is still going to have to deal with it, and you do have the lower attack score off of your second attack, but still, ensuring that you hit and are really ruining your opponent's day is going to be very, very handy, very, very useful. Then at 9th level, we pick up Critical Focus, another bit of a feat tax in this instance. However, because this gives you a +4 bonus to confirm critical hits, and it stacks with the bonus from Weapon Expertise, you go up to a +6 for any rolls you have to make to confirm critical hits. And given that a katana has an expanded threat range at an 18 to 20 for ×2 damage, you're going to be critting a little bit more frequently, and if you build into that further out to a 15 to 20 range, roughly 1/4 of your attacks are going to be crits. So having this locked in with a +6 bonus to confirm all the way around is going to be huge. Absolutely a massive boon to you. Then, at 11th level, we are going to scoot right around to pick up Greater Weapon Focus. This gives you another +1 to attack for your chosen weapon, the katana, and this stacks with the bonus from Weapon Focus. So that's a +2 bonus right there, helping to offset the penalties incurred by using power attack. And if you're not power attacking, well, it's extra accuracy for you all the way around. And then, for our 12th level bonus feat, we are picking up Deadly Stroke. It's a standard action to make one attack with your selected weapon for Greater Weapon Focus against a stunned or flat-footed opponent. If you hit, you deal double damage and the target takes 1 con bleed. So they're taking damage to their Constitution score. This additional damage and con bleed is not multiplied on a critical hit, but even still, even if that's not multiplied, you're still getting a crit. That's still extra damage that you're throwing in, and you're reducing their Constitution score, and on a bleeding effect too. So dishing this out against an opponent will be devastating. Absolutely great to have. And then moving on from there, and still building into this, we have Staggering Critical at 13th level. On a critical hit, stagger your target for 1d4 + 1 rounds. A DC 10 plus your base attack bonus fortitude save is allowed to reduce to 1 round of stagger. Additional crits add duration to the stagger, otherwise it doesn't really stack together. You're just going to keep additionally adding to what exists, not adding in. Anyways, moving on from there to 15th level, we are going to pick up Dreadful Carnage. Now, when you reduce a target to 0 hit points while with this feat on, you make an intimidate check as a free action to demoralize all enemies in 30 feet. So this is Dazzling Display, but better. Because it's a free action, you're not mucking up your action economy. This would be better to have earlier if you could, but you can only pick this up by the time you hit level 11, and by level 11 we have other feats that we want to take. So this felt like the earliest point at which we could introduce this. Even still though, still going to be useful, especially for clearing out a lot of chaff. And again, how appropriate does that feel for a samurai to have, just absolutely decimating opponent after an opponent, and then just inherently making that intimidate check to just absolutely ruin the courage and morale of any opponents around them. Great, perfect, thematic, I love it. Now, at level 17, we are going to pick up Staggering Critical. On a crit, stun your target for 1d4 rounds. A DC 10 plus your base attack bonus fortitude save is allowed to reduce to staggered for 1d4 rounds, and additional crits add duration to the stagger or the stun. So again, stun is better than stagger, but even still, even if your opponent saves against it, you're still getting them staggered, which is still a debuff to your enemy. And again, like we talked about earlier, if you're building into it, about 1/4 of your attacks, give or take, is going to be a critical hit, and you have significant bonuses to confirming those critical hits. So this is going to be very, very useful. And then for your 18th level bonus feat, we're going to keep adding in by going with Blinding Critical. which will allow you to permanently blind your target on a crit unless they make a DC 10 plus your base attack bonus fortitude save to reduce this effect to dazzled for 1d4 rounds. So even on a successful save, they're still taking a debuff here, which again is just going to mesh together very nicely. And lastly, we are picking up Critical Mastery at 19th level, which allows you to apply 2 critical feat effects on a critical hit instead of just 1. You can stun and blind your opponents in one go, and if they're not dead, they're gonna wish they were. Or at least, you're gonna make that happen very quickly. And just because I felt like doing it and had the time and energy, we have a little bit of math here that you can already see. So this assumes we have a +3 Keen Katana with 22 strength for a +6 bonus. We're two-handing the weapon, and we're using power attack at level 19. So that gives us 19 base attack bonus, +3 to hit from the enhancement, +2 from weapon focus, +6 from our strength bonus. Now, we do take a -5 penalty from power attack, but on our first attack, we get to ignore that, leaving us at a +28 to hit our target, with a +6 to confirm any crits that we might have. For damage, we're looking at 1d8 damage, +3 from the enhancement, +9 from the strength bonus, and then we also get a +15 damage from power attack, and +19 if our target is the target of our challenge. So that's an additional bonus right there. With a Keen Katana, we have that 15 to 20 critical threat range for double damage, with a chance to stun and or blind the target, dealing roughly about 100 damage. Roughly because on a 1d8, your average is about 4 to 5 points of damage, so I just went with 4. And just also keep in mind that, let's see here, that's 4, 7, 16, 31, 50 points of damage altogether right there. And the challenge bonus damage, because it's just a flat static damage, it does get multiplied. Usually, the kinds of damage that is not multiplied are extra damage dice. So if you do Vital Strike, or you do Sneak Attack, or anything else that is precision damage, or is a die roll like flaming attacks, if you have a flaming katana, a fiery katana, things like that, those don't typically get multiplied, and it does not specify that the challenge bonus damage is not multiplied, and I couldn't find any rulings online that specified it did not get multiplied either. In fact, the consensus seems to be that it should be multiplied on a crit. So with all that there, you're looking at a very significant amount of damage. So is this a bit of a munchkin build? Is this a bit of a power gaming build? Not really, because you're locked into doing damage with your katana. You're not gaining a lot of bonuses to your wakizashi. You're not gaining a lot of bonuses to your longbow, to your yari, or not the yari longbow. That yari's a spear. Forgive me, I'm a little bit tired now. No, you're very locked in and very, very specialized in this instance, in this particular build. Now, you have utility and use outside of combat as well, especially depending on the order that you take. Whether it's Order of the Lion, Order of the Dragon, Order of the Warrior, or you decide to go the route of being a Ronin, you have other options, but you're still very much locked into just being up close and personal, fighting with the katana. Your longbow is literally going to be, I have no other options right now. The target's flying away, I can't get to them, or I'm in a position where charging into the midst of the fray is not going to be ideal right now. The bow is a weapon of, I got nothing else to do. And yeah, everything else is, oh no, I don't have my katana, so I'm going to use this. You can still power attack if you're using the naginata. You still have Shattered Defenses, Dazzling Display, Dreadful Carnage, all of these other feats that will be usable with other weapons, but because you're using weapon focus with the katana, you are not going to be applying your critical hit feats to those weapons, so that is a significant limiting factor in that instance. You're still going to be effective in a fight, you're definitely built for melee all the way around, but you're really going to want to go into the fight with the katana, and so if you lose your katana and don't have a replacement handy, you are going to be a bit diminished, less effective, so keep all of that in mind. But what do you think? Did you like today's video? Did you dislike it? Go on down to the comments below and let me know your thoughts. Did you like today's video? Did you dislike it? Hit those like or dislike buttons, and remember, if you're new here to the channel, go on down there, hit the subscribe button, and become a regular member here at the Gamers Den. But with all that said, I've been your host, Jordan, your Master of Lore and Storyteller Extraordinaire. Thank you all so very much for your time, and you all have yourselves a good night.